Hey, how you doing? This is Jonathan Smith, President of the New York Metro Area Postal Union. And today to my left I have Executive Vice President Tiffany Foster, and to my right I have Director of Organization Kevin Walsh. And you were sending in a lot of questions, and we decided that we were going to take this opportunity to answer some of your questions. It's an opportunity not only to inform you, but to educate you what the requirements of the contract is. So let's start with you, Kevin. The first question is, it's simple question, maybe not a simple answer, but is a lead clerk a supervisor?
I have a very simple answer. No,
Yes.
a lead clerk is not a supervisor. The intent behind, why do we have lead clerks? The lead clerk was created with the intent of doing away with 204Bs.
Right.
Keep in mind that a lead clerk is a bargaining unit position, and we've taken some of the responsibilities that a 204B had and incorporated it into a lead clerk position. Where a 204B is an EAS position, and it's not a bargaining unit position, it's not a bid position, and it's subject to favoritism and everything else. A lead clerk is a good thing for the APWU, and we need to embrace that work. It is not a supervisor position. You have the authority to give instructions, schedule breaks, not lunches, but breaks, coffee breaks, and things of that nature. They also have the responsibility of performing tax. And hopefully most of them, they're required to be trained, let's put it that way, in tax and putting your time in. Tax was always a clerk bargaining unit position. We had timekeepers back in the day, and they did away with those, and the work went with it, and the clerks went with it. Now we're getting that work back, and it's important that we do this work and make it a part of our job. We want that work back. Lead clerks, some lead people think they're supervisors, and others don't want to do the job, but we really need to do that work so we can get rid of these 204Bs so that we don't want anymore. Okay, and that's about it for me, John.
You know what? One of the things, Kevin, that you said about the 204Bs can't schedule lunches, and that would apply in Manhattan, because Manhattan has bid lunches.
Bid lunches.
Right. So everywhere else that don't have a bid lunch attached to the duty assignment, then a lead clerk would be able to tell the clerk when, what time to go to lunch, things of that nature. But in Manhattan, that wouldn't be possible, because Manhattan duty assignments have bid lunches. So it's already in their bid what time they're supposed to go to lunch. Just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the ultimate intent is, if you have a lead clerk in the station, you would think that in some of these smaller stations, these carrier delivery stations, they have 6, 8 clerks. If you function as a family, it was a way to eliminate the supervisor, but most of all, eliminate a lot of the unnecessary discipline that we were seeing, and everybody working together with the intent of getting the work out, making each other look good, and go home happy. And we hope that it would work like that. And one last point, we have had a lot of conversion into the lead clerk position, because a lot of people don't want to take the position because they feel like it's a supervisor position. Well, when that position went residual, we got a lot of PSCs converted to full-time regular because of that lead clerk position. So that was an added bonus of that position. Let's move on real quick. Tiffany, your question is, I've been looking all over the place for a shop steward and I can't find one. Sound like Article 15, Article 17. You want to handle that one?
Sure. Okay. First, let me say you have an obligation. People don't think that they have a responsibility to notify management that they are requesting a steward. It is your responsibility as a craft employee, as per the contract, to make that request that you need a steward. You can't say, well, I'm going to grieve that. That means absolutely nothing to a supervisor or manager that doesn't tell them that you're requesting a steward. Article 17 says you have a right to request a steward, and that management is obligated to get you one. Now, in Article 15, if you want to file a grievance, you still have to go to your supervisor, and you have to let them know, this is the issue, and I'm requesting a steward. Now, Once you are made aware of an issue or a problem, or say management has taken an action that you feel is in violation of the collective bargaining agreement, you have 14 days. Once you make the request to management that you want a steward, remember now you have 14 days from the time the action took place, the time that you knew about the action. You have 14 days from that point to file a grievance. You need to say the words, "I am requesting a steward." You can't say, "I'm grieving this," and think that that notifies management or lets them know that you are requesting a steward. Those words must be said. Now, if you make a request for a steward and one hasn't been provided to you, say if you have a steward in your station, hasn't been provided to you within that day, maybe the next day, you need to then go back to that supervisor. But this time, put it in writing. This is my second request for a steward regarding A, B, and C. Then, it is okay at that point to notify the union. Contact your steward if you have one in your station. If you don't, contact the union office and let us know. Listen, I asked for a steward. I made a second request in writing for a steward, and still management has not provided one for me. Then we can jump in at that point. But the initial has to come from you. You have to. And people think that they don't have to do that, and that, management is supposed to know what you need and that the union should know. Management is not going to notify us of any action that they take that is in violation of the collective bargaining agreement. And you have to know what your rights are, and that's so you have to read your contract. You have to educate yourself on what's going on. That's why we do these videos, because we want to try to use all social media, all type of avenues we can to educate our membership.
You want to add anything to that, Kevin?
Yeah, one important thing that Tiffany, that you did say, put it in writing. Okay? The first request you can make verbal, make it oral, but if you go back again, put it in writing. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
And make sure you keep a copy for yourself.
Yes.
Don't give it to management and think that they're gonna hold on and give you a copy. Make a copy for yourself.
Yeah.
And absolutely put it in writing.
And I would also like to add that Article 17 makes it clear that shop stewards are designated for certain work location, meaning you don't have a right to go around and shop for a shop steward. You have shop stewards that has been designated to management by the president of your local to represent certain areas of the local. Therefore, if another steward was to represent you, it would make your grievance procedurally defective, because they're not the steward of record to represent you. Now, some locals have stewards that are appointed, but Metro is very democratic, and we have stewards that's elected. So if you don't have a steward, don't look around, look in the mirror, because the change you want to see should be you. You should be stepping up, looking for an opportunity to be a shop steward to make the difference in your station that you're looking for. We're always looking for help to get involved in this battle with management, and we cannot win with you sitting on the sideline. Yeah. So we're asking you to get involved. If you don't have a steward, then you just answered your own question. What do I need to do? Yeah. I need to send an application to New York Metro Area Postal Union to the attention of the president of this union or the secretary treasurer, saying that I want to be a shop steward, and our next available training class, which is coming up very soon, we're looking to do one as soon as January. So we're looking for your application, not your complaints. We get enough of your complaints. Let's get your involvement. We thank you for the opportunity. Was anybody like to add something?
No. We need your help. Get involved. This union is you. We are not the union. The union is made up of all of us.
Thank you for the opportunity to address you. Information is power. Wishing you God's peace and blessings. Until the next time we speak.
Bye.